Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Sanaya and I'm back with another video. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Today we are talking about what do you need to know about El Salvador. So grab your notebook, your pen, pencil, phone, laptop, whatever it is, because I have a lot of information for you and you're gonna want to take notes. So let's get into it. These are all things you need to know about the airport. So for COVID-19, you don't need to present a test or your vaccination card when entering, and the United States just announced that you do not need to have a COVID test to enter back into the US. That's great about COVID-19. You don't need tests. However, if you are traveling from El Salvador to another country in Central America, you may need a COVID test. So it's important to ask your hotel, your hostel, or your Airbnb host, where can you get a COVID-19 test? Because some of them have people actually come to the site to take your COVID-19 test. But you can also go into the city where they have 24-hour clinics that you can take COVID-19 tests for about $25. When entering El Salvador, you do need a visa. So after you leave your gate, it's going to point you to baggage claim, immigration, and when you go down, the first line you go to on that escalator is going to be a visa stop. Bring exactly $12 because I know when I went, I gave them a 20 and they was like, do you have anything smaller? So take exactly $12 for that visa, and then after you get your visa, you're gonna get a receipt. And then you're gonna head on to the immigration line where your aircraft should have given you an immigration paper that you should have filled out, and they're gonna review that. And then once you're done and get approved and stamped on your passport, you're gonna head over to baggage claim, but be sure to keep out that passport, that immigration paper, and also your visa receipt, because for you to exit the airport, you also have to stop at some clerks again, and they're gonna verify that you got all that information. And then once you exit there, you will then see a line of rental companies. You walk out, you see a bunch of families who welcoming their family back to El Salvador, and then you're gonna see a bunch of people like cab services and stuff like that with their flyer. The airport is very easy to navigate. Even if you don't speak Spanish, it's very clear where you have to go. The airport is not huge. It's not big, and you'll be fine, I promise. Now for transportation. El Salvador has Ubers, but Ubers really work in the city, so it's not really reliable because it does work in San Salvador. It's easy for you to get a, Uber at the airport and when you're in the city. But if you were to stay on the outskirts, like the beach area and stuff like that, the Uber will take you to that location. But once you're at that location and you're like trying to go somewhere else, you're gonna have a hard time getting a Uber. So Ubers work great in the city, but not really reliable when you're outside of it. So I decided to get a driver because safety wise, I felt like my driver would know the area a bit better. Also, this driver has worked with somebody I know, so I felt comfortable just hiring somebody to drive me around rather than getting a rental or relying on Uber or just relying on cab drivers that my hostel will get me. You can also do online cab services, so you know, you could do like TripAdvisor, Expedia. You can book cab services through there. You can also call up your hotel, your hostel, or your Airbnb host. You can ask them about cab services or if they know anybody that provides those services of transportation. Okay, so the areas you can stay in, and there's more areas, but this is just the research I did. You can stay in San Salvador or Libertad or El Tunque. El Tunque is a big tourist site that is like Surf City. That's where a lot of surfers go. San Salvador, a lot of people stay in the city because you have easy access to like restaurants, transportation, just things are opened, and also the distance that you can get to activities and excursions like that. And a lot of the tour companies pick up a lot from San Salvador than other places. I stood in Libertad, which is where my hostel was. I stood at La Garza Hostel. It was by the Chalpa beach area, and I loved it. It was very quiet. It was a complete different scene than the city. Now for excursions and activities. So I did the Santa Ana Volcano. So that's about a 4-hour hike going up and coming down. How it works is you'll get to this area where you're seeing this video right here. There's a bunch of tour guides. You cannot do this hike without a tour guide. And the tour guides, they all charge you a different price. But what I love about the pricing is the fact that my tour guide was charging us $35. There was 4 of us. We only had to pay about $8. The more people, the cheaper it is for you. The price stays the same for the tour guide, but the price price can change for you. Then from there is about a 15 to 20 minute walk to the entrance of the actual volcano. There you will pay $6 fee for admissions, and you can also purchase a hiking stick, and that's about 50 cents. I got mine for free because my tour guide just gave it to me, but you can purchase that as well. And let me tell you, that hiking stick definitely helps you out a lot when hiking. And if you need to purchase water or food and stuff, they do have vendors on the street that you can purchase food from. You can get pupusas, I forgot, I think that's how you say it. You can get those. That's what I had for breakfast. So then you have the Santa Teresa hot springs, which is literally across the lake from the volcano, and there you have about like 4 to 5 pools, and those pools are heated up from a volcano. The entrance fee for that is $10. They also have a massage place there. They have a restaurant, drinks, and then they have a mud section where you could get like a mud facial. That was $10, so I spent only $20 at the hot springs. So when leaving the hot springs, you're then gonna bump into Cafe Albina. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's very popular. That's where you get the bicycle zip lining, the swing, zip lining, all of that. Another big thing that people love to do in El Salvador is picnic Steakhouse. That is the infamous rainbow slide. I wasn't able to do it because it was raining that day I was going, so they closed it just for safety precautions. That is $5, and you buy that ticket from your server. I didn't eat at Picnic Steakhouse, but I had their hot chocolate and it was good to me. And then there's another place that's literally about like 5 minutes from Picnic Steakhouse. It's called El Cojito, and it's similar to Cafe Albina. It got the zip lines and the swings and all of that too, and they charge you per thing that you do. There was no activity that was more than $20 that I had planned. Yeah, I almost forgot Nawi Beach House, but with Nawi Beach House, you want to book your day pass before you go, okay? Because if you go the day of and you try to book, they're going to charge you $25 instead of $20, and there's a great chance you will not be able to do the horseback riding. So with your day pass, you get a welcome drink, you get admissions to the facilities, and then you get a reserved horseback ride. Now they're going to reserve a time frame for you to do the horseback ride. If you miss it, then you're put on the waiting list and you're not granted that you'll get a horseback ride. To know. And also they have cabanas, and cabanas are $100, but then you get $100 food credit back that you can use, so it's kind of free if you think of it. And also you need your passport. When you go to Nawi Beach, bring your passport, and also bring the card that you paid for your day pass with you, because they're gonna ask you that. It is important to know that there is different seasons in El Salvador. So I went in June. I went dead smack in rain season, so the rain can be unpredictable. The forecast will say something and it can change. I was blessed because my first 3 days there, it sprinkled a little bit and then it went away, and really at nighttime that's when it rains. But my last day, it rained the whole entire time. But please make sure you check the weather. Food was probably my favorite thing of all times. When you go there, make sure you taste the pupusas. They are amazing. It's basically like tortillas, and then they put stuff inside and then they cook it. Food is very reasonable. The most I spent on food was $19, and that was at the airport. We know how airport food be, but everything else was super reasonable and amazing. I didn't have no food that I was just like, ooh, this is nasty. So you're like, yeah, thanks for all this information, but how much money did you bring? That's important. I bought about $360 with me. My flight and my hostel was $316. My hostel was $21 a night, and I got free breakfast with that. A driver, I paid him $207. That was with tip included. He spent 3 days with me. He drove me to different places, and that says a lot about spending in El Salvador. It's a very reasonable trip, very affordable place to go. Now I know the rep that El Salvador has. A lot of people when going for me was like, girl, you going where? Are you bugging? Are you crazy? You really going to El Salvador? Yes, I went to El Salvador because I did my research. I asked a lot of questions, and El Salvador is not the El Salvador it was 3 years ago. It's a bit better because one, they have a new president, so the government is a bit different the way things are going, especially with violence and the gangs. where I stood in the beach area, so I really stood on the coast, and I felt really safe there. My hostel, there was always people on site, and at night we had our guards there that was guarding the entrance and all of that stuff. Also, staying in a hostel, I brought a lot for my suitcase and also my cubby. I didn't really have to use that because all my other hostel mates left their stuff out. They didn't even lock their stuff up, and yeah, nobody complained about their stuff being stolen or taken and stuff like that. Everywhere I went, I felt really safe. My driver made me feel safe, so that was good. The only place that I felt like a little uncomfortable was when I went into the downtown area of San Salvador. Just like any city, you know, it's overpopulated. That's where at first when I got there I was like, do they even have houseless people or homeless people? When I went to the downtown area, I definitely see homeless people. The police is out there, the military is out there. For money wise, what I did was I bought myself a money clip. You can't even notice that you have it on. I bought myself a money belt, which can go under your pants or under your shirt. Obviously, as a solo traveler and as a traveler in general, you're always going to be always be precautious of your surroundings. But I think the more research you do and the more planning you do for your trips, you feel more secure. And especially as a solo traveler and someone going by themselves, the more you plan, the better you will feel and the more confident you will feel in what you're doing and what is being done. And also, when traveling anywhere, always know where your embassy is. Always have the information of like emergency contact. I use Life 360. I also shared with them my location just like on my iPhone. Service, I didn't have internet service, but I have T-Mobile, so I was able to I could text them wherever, and I will always update them where I was. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you got some information and you have an amazing time in El Salvador. If you have any other questions or you feel like I didn't answer something in this video, hit me up on Instagram. I am more than happy to answer your questions. I do not like to gatekeep. I want people to have the most fun that they can and to have the absolute knowledge of where they're going and stuff like that. So yeah, have fun, go do it, explore, have the best time of your life. Before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.